Quiet mornings, heavy legs. Some mornings, it's not pain that wakes you, it's uncertainty. You sit up slowly, just like always. The room is quiet, but your legs don't feel like yours. There's no injury, no fall. Just that strange, silent weakness in your knees. So you reach for the nightstand, grip the edge, whisper a little prayer you didn't say when you were younger, just make it to the door. No one warned you about this part of aging. Not the birthdays, not the doctor. They talk about heart health and cholesterol, but no one tells you what it feels like when your own muscles stop trusting you. And yet, what if it's not your age? What if it's not weakness? What if your body is simply running low on something simple, something fixable? Because here's the truth. Muscle loss isn't just natural, it's preventable. And in the next few minutes, you'll discover 7 foods that quietly rebuild strength, that steady your step, that bring mornings back into your hands. Just a few simple foods, no prescriptions needed, and mornings feel different again. Quinoa, the tiny grain that held her up. Linda didn't skip breakfast out of carelessness. She skipped it because she thought, maybe it didn't matter anymore. She was 70, lived alone. Most mornings started with a cup of coffee in silence. She wasn't hungry, and truthfully, cooking felt like too much effort when no one else was there to share it. But then one morning, something happened. As she stepped off the bottom stair, her right knee buckled. No pain, no dizziness, just gone. A second later, she caught herself on the wall, heart racing, breath shallow. That was the moment she stopped pretending things were fine. Her daughter visited that afternoon. No lectures, no panic, just a quiet bag of groceries and a soft suggestion. Try this tomorrow. Warm it up, eat slowly, just give it a week. Inside the bag was quinoa, something Linda had never cooked before. But she followed the note. Half a cup, simmered with broth and a few soft vegetables. It wasn't fancy. It didn't even taste like much. But the change, that was real. By the 3rd morning, Linda stood without gripping the edge of the nightstand. By the 5th, she made it through her morning walk without that strange floating feeling in her knees. Her doctor noticed too. Your balance seems better, he said, and she just nodded, holding back a quiet smile. Here's why. Quinoa is more than just a grain. It's one of the rare plant foods that contains all 9 essential amino acids, the exact ones your body needs to rebuild and protect muscle. It's also rich in magnesium for muscle contraction, iron for oxygen transport, and B vitamins to keep your energy stable. Its low glycemic index helps prevent sudden drops in blood sugar, reducing those lightheaded, shaky moments. Linda didn't expect a seed to give her strength back, but it did. Not all at once, but bite by bite, spoonful by spoonful. Until one day, she realized she wasn't scared of the stairs anymore. Because sometimes, healing doesn't come from pills, it comes from breakfast. And just when Linda felt a little steadier, something deeper began to shift. This time, not in her legs, but in her heart. Let's keep going. Greek yogurt, what quieted her heartbeat. Evelyn called it her little panic. It always came out of nowhere. Her heart would start racing, her hands would tremble just enough to make her pause, and she'd feel off. Not sick, just uneasy. Doctors said her vitals were fine. Nothing to worry about. But Evelyn knew better. She stopped driving long distances, stopped shopping alone, started staying close to the house, just in case. One afternoon, her granddaughter came over after school with a snack in hand, a little cup of Greek yogurt, topped with blueberries and chia seeds. "Grandma," she said, "you have to try this. It's what I eat before exams. It helps me focus." Evelyn laughed, but she took a spoonful anyway. The next day, she had another, and the next. Not because she believed it would change anything, just because it tasted good. But within a week, something felt calmer. Her mornings weren't so shaky. Her heart didn't flutter after climbing the stairs. The episodes didn't disappear entirely, but they softened, became less frightening, easier to move through. Here's why it helped. Greek yogurt is packed with up to 20 grams of protein per serving, giving your muscles and nervous system the amino acids they need to recover and stabilize. It's also a rich source of calcium, which supports both bone strength and muscle contractions, including the ones that regulate heartbeat. And the probiotics? They nourish the gut, where much of your nutrient absorption and even mood regulation begins. A healthy gut helps your body process B vitamins and minerals more efficiently, reducing strain on your system as a whole. Evelyn didn't expect a snack to steady her, but it did. One bowl at a time, her nervous system found rhythm again. Because what feels invisible might simply need support. And just when Evelyn thought her body was calming down, she noticed something else had returned. Her appetite for movement. A quiet urge to do just a little more. Let's talk about that next. Salmon, what took the ache away? Ray didn't stop walking every morning because he was lazy. He stopped because of the ache, that dull, pulsing soreness in his knees that wouldn't go away. Some days it spread to his hips, other days it lingered in his calves like a quiet complaint. The strange thing, it wasn't sharp, it wasn't unbearable, it was just there, all the time. And that made it harder to explain. He tried stretching, switched shoes, took over-the-counter pills when it got bad, but nothing lasted. Then one evening, his grandson came over with groceries and a recipe. "Let's try something different, Grandpa," he smiled, pulling out a piece of salmon and a lemon. "You grill, I'll prep." Ray hadn't cooked fish in years, but he gave it a go. A little olive oil, a squeeze of citrus, a few minutes on the skillet. It became their Tuesday night tradition. 3 weeks in, something shifted. He realized he was going up and down the porch stairs without bracing the railing. He could make it through a walk and the post-walk stretch without pain. Not less pain. Nope. Here's what made the difference. Salmon is one of the most powerful natural sources of omega-3 fatty acids, which reduce chronic inflammation, the hidden culprit behind many age-related aches. It also delivers around 22 grams of complete protein per 3-ounce serving, giving your muscles everything they need to recover, rebuild, and stay resilient. But it doesn't stop there. Salmon is rich in vitamin D for bone strength, vitamin B12 for nerve function, and selenium, a trace mineral that supports cellular repair and boosts muscle performance. Together, these nutrients form a kind of internal support team, calming inflammation, easing soreness, and helping you move without resistance. Ray didn't take a new supplement. He just changed dinner, and the ache that had followed him for months finally stopped chasing him. Because some pain isn't permanent, it just needs the right kind of fuel. And just when Ray got used to feeling better, something else surprised him. The stiffness that haunted his mornings? It was gone too. Let's talk about why next. Eggs, morning rescue in a shell. Tom hadn't eaten breakfast in 3 days, not because he forgot, because he didn't see the point. After all, wasn't eating less supposed to be healthier, lighter, easier for the body? But every morning felt the same. Slow, uncertain, stiff. He had to grip the countertop to get to the porch. His feet dragged. His thoughts did too. Then one morning, something shifted, not in his body, but in a memory. He remembered mornings when his wife would boil 2 eggs, slice an apple and say, "Let's start with something warm." So he did it himself. 2 eggs, a little salt, a soft chair by the window. No rush. By the 5th day, Tom didn't need to hold the counter. By the 7th, he made it outside before the sun fully rose. It didn't feel like a miracle. It felt like a homecoming. Here's why it worked. Eggs are one of the most complete and affordable sources of high-quality protein. Around 6 to 7 grams per egg, including all 9 essential amino acids needed to repair and maintain muscle mass. But there's more. Eggs naturally contain vitamin D, which helps with calcium absorption, keeping bones strong and muscle contractions smooth. They also offer vitamin B12, crucial for nerve function and energy production, and selenium, which supports muscle metabolism and immune resilience. And then there's choline, a quiet hero that improves brain-to-muscle signaling, helping your body feel more coordinated and less hesitant with each movement. Tom didn't need a new medication. He just needed breakfast with intention. One small act of care, one shell cracked at a time. Because some mornings don't need fixing, they just need fuel. And once Tom found strength in his mornings again, another surprise appeared. His naps became shorter because his sleep at night got deeper. What helped with that? Let's step into something green. Spinach, what helped her breathe easier. Diane wasn't out of breath, at least not at first. It started with small things, pausing halfway up the stairs, leaning against the sink after folding laundry, feeling her chest tighten just a little when the air turned too warm. She chalked it up to age, to humidity, to being out of shape. But deep down, she knew something was off. The scariest part, her heart wasn't racing. Her blood pressure was normal, but her body felt tired, like it was running on low oxygen. One day, while making lunch for her granddaughter, she tossed in a handful of spinach, just to add color. Nothing intentional. But the next day she added more. Then, a few days later, she sautéed it with garlic and eggs. And before she even realized it, she was breathing easier, moving lighter, feeling more alive in her skin. Here's what happened. Spinach is one of nature's most concentrated sources of magnesium and iron, two quiet but essential minerals for seniors. Magnesium supports muscle contractions and energy production, preventing that muscle heaviness many older adults feel without understanding why. Iron is crucial for hemoglobin production, the protein that carries oxygen in your blood. Without enough of it, your muscles starve, even when you're resting. Spinach is also rich in vitamin K, which helps maintain bone strength and joint stability, as well as vitamins A and C, which assist in cell repair, immune defense, and inflammation reduction. That means fewer aches, more energy, and better resilience after physical effort. And let's not forget, spinach is full of antioxidants like lutein and quercetin, which protect muscle tissue from stress and help speed up recovery after exertion. Diane didn't start a new exercise plan. She just added one green ingredient, and slowly the shortness of breath disappeared into the background, because what feels like weakness may be your body asking for oxygen. And just when Diane thought she had done enough, her hands, those shaky hands she'd learned to hide, began to steady. Let's look at what made that possible next. Almonds. Her hand stopped. Sandra had stopped wearing bracelets. Not because she didn't like them, but because her hands trembled just enough for her to avoid the clinking sound. She had also stopped writing cards, folding towels, and sometimes even pouring tea when guests were over. It wasn't dramatic, it was subtle, but it was enough to make her feel ashamed. Her doctor called it essential tremor. Harmless, he said, common in older adults, just something to live with. So she did, quietly, carefully, until one afternoon her daughter left behind a small container of almonds on the kitchen counter. Sandra popped a few in her mouth between meals, mostly out of habit. But over the next couple of weeks, something unexpected happened. Her hands, once uncertain, began to steady. Not fully, not perfectly, but enough for her to notice, enough to write again. Here's why it mattered. Almonds are rich in vitamin E, a powerful antioxidant that protects muscle and nerve tissue from oxidative stress, the kind that silently wears away at motor control. They also contain magnesium, which supports smooth muscle function, nerve signaling, and relaxation, helping to reduce both stiffness and the twitchy energy behind tremors. Each ounce of almonds provides about 6 grams of plant-based protein, essential for repairing muscle fibers and maintaining steady strength in small fine motor muscles, like those in your hands and wrists. Add to that a mix of healthy fats and fiber, and you've got a slow-release source of energy that prevents the crashes and shakes caused by blood sugar dips. Sandra didn't take a new prescription. She just began reaching for something crunchy, something real, between lunch and dinner. And her body, almost silently, responded. Because those small things matter more than we admit. And as Sandra picked up a pen again, she noticed something else. Her shoulders weren't curling forward anymore. She was standing taller and stronger. Let's explore what helped her keep that strength next. Chicken breast. His confidence returned with every bite. George used to walk with his hands in his pockets, not for style, but to hide the slight sway in his balance. He hated the word frail, but lately, even small things, stepping off a curb, standing too long in the garden, made him feel like his body was quietly giving up. He didn't talk about it. He just moved slower, spoke softer, tried to disappear a little. Until a friend from his old church group came by with a casserole dish and a smile. "Simple roasted chicken," she said. "I made extra." He didn't expect much, but the flavor brought back memories. Family dinners, laughter, a table full of noise. So he started cooking again, just a little. A chicken breast, some carrots, a touch of rosemary, nothing fancy, but within 2 weeks, something changed. His grip felt firmer. He could stand longer. He stopped reaching for the railing every time he got up from the sofa. Here's what made the difference. Chicken breast delivers around 26 grams of lean, complete protein per 3-ounce serving. That protein isn't just for building muscle, it's for preserving it, repairing it, and keeping your body stable with every step. It's also rich in vitamin B3, niacin, and vitamin B6, which support energy metabolism, turning the food you eat into fuel that your muscles can actually use. And chicken is a solid source of selenium, a mineral that supports thyroid function, immune response, and even cellular repair. All crucial for staying mobile and upright with confidence. George didn't sign up for a new program. He didn't take supplements or count calories. He just ate dinner with intention. And slowly, without even trying, his body stopped whispering, "Be careful." Because sometimes the road back to strength starts with one meal. And once George could trust his legs again, something even deeper returned, his desire to connect. Let's close with what happens when the body softens and the spirit finally follows. Morning, again. No grand declarations, no dramatic transformations. Tom didn't join a gym. Diane never downloaded a health app. Ray didn't suddenly love salads, but each of them, quietly, gently, changed one thing. One breakfast, one snack, one small promise to stop ignoring the body they woke up in. And the mornings? They changed too. Tom no longer had to grip the counter just to make it to the porch. Diane didn't dread the stairs like she used to. Ray could go for his walks without aching halfway through. Evelyn didn't hold her breath every time her heart skipped a beat. Sandra's penmanship returned. George stood tall enough to look people in the eyes again. None of them called it a comeback. They just called it living again. Because sometimes strength doesn't roar. It returns in quiet ways, in steadier legs, in full breaths, in the simple act of believing that your body is still worth caring for. And if any part of this journey felt like your own, maybe it's time to leave your mark too. Press 1. If you've ever had to grip the edge of the bed or a railing just to stand up in the morning. Press 2. If you've ever hidden a small tremor in your hands and pretended everything was fine. Press 3. If you've ever thought, maybe this is just aging, until your body proved otherwise. I read every comment because someone else out there might be scrolling quietly, looking for proof that they're not alone. And maybe your story will be the one that gives them the courage to begin. If this felt true to you, I think you'll really appreciate the next video. It's waiting right below. Ready when you are.